Okay, so welcome to you guys. Okay, so let's move on. Any questions on anything covered so far? Okay, let's start with Matplotlib then. So on your screen now, you see Matplotlib, and Matplotlib is something that I was talking to Oyong earlier before the class started, and he says he's very keen to learn about it. And let me ask you guys, how many of you have used MATLAB? MATLAB or heard about MATLAB? Okay, it
Yeah,
seems
of
okay.
yes.
So, okay, Leroy has heard about MATLAB. Yeah, so MATLAB is a popular tool, and so has like Dina. Okay, very good. So MATLAB is a popular tool, very similar to NumPy. It also works with all these linear algebra. So MATLAB, in fact, if you split the words up, it stands for Matrix Laboratory. So it works with these, arrays. And so you see what has happened is Matplotlib and NumPy and Python, they are replicating many of the functionalities you would see, which was, traditionally in MATLAB. Okay. So Python becomes a poor person's MATLAB because sometimes MATLAB can be, you have to purchase MATLAB licenses. So many of the syntax in Matplotlib you will see has been borrowed from MATLAB to make them quite similar. So people coming from the MATLAB world find it easier to use the Python, APIs which are present inside Matplotlib. So we'll talk about the main features of Matplotlib. We'll talk about lines, colors, native versus PyPlot APIs, subplots and figures, bar charts, histogram, and so on and so forth. Okay, let's start with this. So as you see here, the first thing you would do is you would install or you would have, so let me show you before I do that. All this stuff is, again, Matplotlib has its own, it has its own website, guys. So it's a very powerful thing. And let me see, Control C, put this on the chat. So it has its own website. It's a very popular package, and it is very well documented. So you see that, and if you look at Matplotlib and you look at examples, and you see that it has examples to plot every kind of graph. So it will give you syntax and code to draw bar charts, horizontal bar charts. It has ways to draw multicolored lines and so on. So if you wanted to draw, this is what we drew was the basic one. So, and the thing is, you can choose any of these examples. Suppose I was to choose, let us say I want to draw spectrum representation. So if you see the spectrum representation, this is the code, okay? And this code, you can download a Jupyter notebook, which is the interactive Python notebook suffix, or you can download it, the Python script, or you can download them both as a zip file. So if you wanted to draw something like this, and you could just go here, let me see, you can just go here, and you could just copy this guy right here, and you can go to our favorite, let's go to our notebook, which we have been using for the past few days. And I can just come here and say end, I can. Okay, let's see here. So you can copy and paste it, and you can use those examples on the website as a starting point. Like I just copied the example I showed you. This is the example I showed you, okay? And then you can just go ahead and press run on this. Okay? And as soon as you press run, uh, it's supposed to give you the same plot, okay, which was there on their website. So you see that with great documentation, you can get a template of how you want to use it. And this is what I want to draw your attention to, that you just should know the basics, and then you can use the website to get some kind of hints. Okay, so let's take this example now. So what we are doing is we are using the NumPy line space method. We're going to go from 0 to 2pi, and we're going to have 50 intervals. So we're going to break it up into 50 intervals. And then we use the plot method to plot x, which is the x-axis, followed by sine x. So this sine x is this default thing which you see in blue. So that is sine x. Okay. And then we plot a function which is 1.2 the frequency, and we can. So these are some examples of making each line different. So you can give it the line width of 5. So this is the one which has line width of 5, which is in orange. You can give the line width of, you can make the line as dash dash. These are the one in green is dash dash. You can make it RO, stands for red circles. So you can make red circles, which is RO is this red line. YS is going to be yellow squares. So the yellow squares, I think, are these ones. They don't look yellow, they look greenish, but I think that's what it is. And this K with the hat is black triangles. This one is easy to spot. This. So you have this mechanism to basically make each curve stand out in this manner. And then you use the show method to basically show the entire, basically all the different graphs or all the different waveforms at once. Okay. Any questions or comments, guys? Okay, so all is good. So in this way, you could also do this. You can also annotate the plots that you create. So how do you go about annotating it? So let us start from the basics. Let's create the x-axis first. Line space 2pi into 100 increments, or 100 intervals, and we'll plot two aspects. We'll plot x and sine x. We'll plot x and cosine x. Okay, and then we create this title. So this title is a method. So this title is going to be 16, font 16. So this is the title that gets created here. It says sine and cosine. So it gives a title to your graph. You can also give a label to the x-axis and y-axis. So x label is x, y label is y. So this is the label y, and this is the label x at the bottom of your screens. Then you can create a text. Now these numbers 3 and 0.5, this is the x and y values, 3 and 0.5. So it says 3 and 0.5 are the x values, x and y values. And you start and you put this label out of phase at this precise position of 3 and 0.5, and the font size is 12 and the color is red. So you can pass in these arguments. And then you can create a legend and say y is equal to sine x and y is equal to cosine x, which comes at the bottom. If you wish, this is what I was trying to locate yesterday, and Leroy helped me locate this. You can save the figure. You can save this as a JPEG file or some other file. Okay, and once it's saved, so sometimes when you're working with a text-based editor, it's not possible for the plot.show to work correctly to plot on screen. You can just save it, and you can then open it using any kind of a image editor. Okay, so it's a good idea. Let us see, if you wanted to see more aspects in what other formats can you save it, you can go to the Matplotlib website that you see here. And here you can go back to home. Okay, so you can go Matplotlib, and you could be searching. This is save figure. Let's search this. Okay. Let's see, save figure. And you see that these are the things that the save figure method is using. So there is a file name which is required. And there are so many other arguments which all have a default value. Okay. But if you see the options you have, you can even specify the dots per inch. Okay. You can specify the what else? So you can specify these options. Whether you want to save it as a PNG, a PDF, as SVG, and so on and so forth. Okay. So these are the format. So the file format is this. Okay, so you have these options. So you don't have to save it as a JPEG because JPEG is sometimes considered as a lossy algorithm. If you don't want to be losing, you can go and check out the Save Figure API or the Save Figure method and know what possibilities you have that you can work with this. Okay, so let's look at this. So basically what happens is that these were the native object-oriented APIs for plotting. And these were fine, but many people who came from the MATLAB world, they were not comfortable and conversant with this. So they basically modified the API for plot, for title, for xlabel, for limit, for show. They modified the API so that it becomes similar to MATLAB-like API, so that people can go back and forth between the two softwares and not having to work with different API formats. There is a mechanism to split up into subplots. Okay, so how do you split up into subplots? Well, you have to use this API called as subplot. And this 2 by 2 means that it's like a 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, there's a 2 by 2 matrix. That means this is one. So there are 4 elements in this 2 by 2, and you can create 4 subplots. And you're saying that the first subplot is sin x. So you're saying this is row, column, and plot. This is the way it works: row, column, and plot. So it's 2 by 2, and the first one in that is sin x. This is the one is sin x. The second one is sin 2x. Okay, the third one is this one right here, sin 3x, and this subplot 2 by 2, 4 is this one right here. So you can see that you can very easily create these subplots. And if you go to this code, which I downloaded from the website to show you, you'll see this code also. We were using these kinds of subplots here, and you will see that, let me see if there is a subplot being used here. There's a figure, okay. So just what it does is it tries to create the subplot. Okay, there is some subplot being used. So there is a subplot, and it's a square subplot, and it consists of these different 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the subplots which are used. So there's one that looks like this, and there are 4 at the bottom. And now you can go and see what it means. Okay, and you can study this as an example, and then see the documentation of how it comes. Okay. It's also possible, again, similar to that, you can define a figure size. So you can say plot one figure 1, this is figure 1, and you define a figure size. What is 6,2? This figure size is 6 inches wide and 2 inches tall. This is what 6,2 means. So that you know and estimate when you print it out, you know the size of your paper, which is, I think, 8 inches wide and 11.5 inches tall. you know how the figure will look like when you print it on a standard A4 or letter size paper. And this gives you the size of the figure, and then you can have a title, subtitle is figure 1. And then you create this subplot. You say 1 row and 2 columns, and the first one is this, is subplot 1, and is sign X. And then you can have a subplot 2, 1, 2, 2. Subplot 2, you have a title, and you plot sign 2X. Okay. And here you can say that you can adjust the subplots. For example, you can have a padding on the top, maybe right here. So there is some padding, so it looks clean. And you have this padding, say top is 0.5. For the second example, we say it's a 6x4. 6x4 means 6 inches wide and 4 inches in height. Okay, and we call it figure 2. Again, figure 2 is what is the subtitle here. And you create a subplot. It's a 2x2 subplot, and the first one is sine 3x. The second one is sine 4x. And the third one is a mix of 5x and 6x. So it mixes the two that you see here. You plot it. So these are some examples, but as I showed you, these are the basics. And now you know the basics. You can go to the website and take any plot of your choice and use it as a way to learn more about different techniques and different kinds of plots. Okay, and as I mentioned to you, you could basically copy paste this code yourself. This is something that I have been mentioning throughout the course. Let's go here. Let's go to this one. Let's go to the, let's go to this one. Let's go to matplotlib. Let's go to subplots. Okay, so you can choose any of these plots right here. You can choose the whole thing if you so wanted. Okay, Control C. You could bring it to your Jupyter Notebook, for example. Okay, Control V. And here you see that I'll have to make some imports here. Let me do those imports. Well, then maybe it may work because it's already in memory. Let us see what happens if I run this. Okay, X is not defined. Oh, okay, so it didn't have the values of X. Let's get those values of X. We get those values of, it's just a plot, we get those values of X from here. Okay, so this is the line space. Let's get this, Control C. We can get that. Put it here. And execute this code again. And you see the things I was showing you on the slide, they have appeared here. Okay. There is some, so what is happening is these two are, the first and the second one are trying to compete with each other, the first subplot and the second subplot, but you can see that there is one at the back, and that is why you see these ones. But yeah, this is how it comes. Okay. So you can choose and execute any one of the slides, and you can experiment with it. Maybe during the break, you can experiment with it yourself. Okay, so that is that. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so also as you see here, you can also do this logarithmic scales. So you can change the scale. Suppose y is equal to a range 100, x is equal to the length of y, which is 100. So this is x, this is y, okay? And you say a subplot one row and two columns. The first one, X scale is logarithmic. Grid is true, so you have a background grid, and you plot X, Y, so you get this kind of a hyperbolic curve. The second one, you can say subplot 1, 2, 2, which is this guy right here. Y scale is, now you are basically flipping the Y scale, you're making it log, and the X case is straight, is going to be linear. And then you say grid is true and plot X, Y, and you say show. So this is a way you could, there is a lot of flexibility, it's quite versatile. Okay? You could play with different kinds of plots. Let's say I have two lists, X and Y, and I want to plot this width and height, 9 inches by 3 inches. And then I have one row and four columns. There are four plots. Okay. And then I can have an axis plot. I can have a bar plot, a horizontal bar plot, or a scatter plot. You can see I have four kinds: axis bar, horizontal bar, and scatter. And we can basically show them. So there are lots of options in the way you want to plot them. You could even plot a histogram. You can create a normalized random, which has a standard normal distribution which of 10,000 points. You can plot a histogram using this normalized 10,000 points and bin them into 25 buckets. Okay, and then you show it, and this is how you get, this is how the normalized distribution is supposed to look like. And since you created one, so you should not be surprised of this one being plotted like this. You can make the number of buckets more, so it will be more smoother. Okay, you can make the number of buckets less, it will be more quantized. Also, you have a mechanism to use different color maps. So this one, you have a 10 by 10 array. You're creating a 10 by 10 array using the NumPy, random. And then you're plotting that random array. You're using this color map called JET. So there are multiple color maps. You just happen to use JET here. And you can play with this, and it looks like a kaleidoscope. So let me ask you guys, did you guys play with, as children, with kaleidoscopes? Is it still popular in Singapore and Penang? Do children still play with kaleidoscopes? The physical ones, not the virtual ones.
Yeah, not really.
Not really. Yeah, okay. Yeah, those were fun times. You basically shake it and you see the alignments changing, and it was always symmetrical alignments. Anyways, so this picture reminds you of a kaleidoscope, and you can keep on, since it is a random number, every time you basically run the code, you'll see a different, arrangements of this 10 by 10 matrix. Okay. In this case, you are working with a scatter plot, and scatter plot, we are using random integers, and we are using a size. So the size is the difference of the two, and we are also creating a color, which is the sum of the two X and Y. So again, it's random. Again, it is something that you can, when you plot the scatter plot, you can see the API for scatter and see that you can give it a size, you can give it a color. And in this case, we choose the color map as twilight. So as I said, in the previous slide, we used color map as jet. This is the twilight color map, and I'm sure you can go to the documentation and figure out, and you can play with it. You can create this NumPy mesh grid. So you see that NumPy is the real computational engine. So all this, creation of the data set, which feeds into Matplotlib, it's all inside NumPy. So you can create a line space. You have an XY line space, and you put the XY line space together to create a two-dimensional mesh grid. Okay, so you create this two-dimensional mesh grid, And then you use the two-dimensional mesh grid and you superimpose on this a third axis called Z. And the Z-axis is what can help you create a surface plot. So you can plot X and Y, which is like a mesh grid, and you have Z, which is a modulated sine and cosine. So you create the inner projection to be 3D, and it gives you a 3D kind of a waveform, which is a mesh grid. And this is a corresponding color map. In this case, it's some kind of plasma. Okay, so this is how you can create a 3D surface plot. There are other packages such as Pandas and Seaborn and Bokeh and Plotly, which can also help you do certain analysis. The Pandas package we'll be discussing in the next presentation, the last presentation. But you have these options. You can choose any one of them. But I personally feel choose the one that you like best and stick with it. Because most packages, they are similar. You don't have to jump and change packages. Okay, just choose one because they all have similar features. It's like buying a new car. All cars have similar features. You don't have to buy any specific car for any specific feature. Okay, the same goes for these optional packages. In this case, we are plotting with pandas. So from pandas, we get something called as the data frame. So DF is the data structure of pandas, which is like a spreadsheet. So it's a two-dimensional array, like a spreadsheet, rows and columns, and you can use the data frame and you can plot using pandas directly. So you don't have to go to NumPy, you don't have to go to Matplotlib. It's possible, and this is something we'll see in the next presentation. You can use the pandas data frame and the pandas plot method. And the same idea is this is a 9 by 7 inch plot, and this is how you plot it. Okay. So this is how the data has been created. You are creating data which has 1,000 rows and 4 columns. And 1,000 rows and 4 columns is split into A, B, C, D. And that is how you are able to plot these values. Okay. So there is another package called a Seaborn, which is used in statistics. It is a package which has lots of statistical analysis methods. So you could import, and these are all third-party packages. Pandas is third-party, Matplotlib is third-party, Seaborn is third-party. All these packages that we have seen on the list, they're not part of the standard library. They are third-party packages. So in this case, there is a data set called as Iris. So you can load this from the internet, and you can basically view the first 5 rows using the head method, something which is used in a lot of softwares, the head and tail. So the head would give you the first 5 rows. You plot it, and then you can use a relative plot, and you can plot the entire data set. So there is plotting capability also built inside these other softwares. And you can do a pair plot, and you can use it to analyze and to see how what is the correlation between different features in your data set. So this is an idea of that. Okay. Any questions or comments, guys? Okay, very good. So the next exercise is relatively straightforward. The next exercise is on Matplotlib. It's basically asking you to create a 3D plot by plotting the function, negative of x squared plus y squared. Okay, this is what we expect you to do. I want you to spend some time with it, maybe even experiment with the plots that you saw on the Matplotlib website or the plots we saw on the slides, and also to work on this exercise. You'll get, I think it's quite colorful and it brings joy when you when you basically create these plots. Okay, so let's say the time right now is let's come back after 25 minutes, okay, at 10 minutes past the hour. And then we do this exercise and we can go ahead and then we will go on to the last topic, which is panda. So this is where you're creating 4 subgraphs or subplots. Okay, this is what we have discussed in our presentation. This is the one which is doing the subplots and so on and so forth. Okay, I will see you at 10 minutes past the hour, and then we will discuss more. Bye-bye.
Quack, 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 quack. You remember last time I said the Owen got connection issue? Last time you remember I said the Owen lose connection in the middle and then yeah, this is the error. It's similar like this one. It's the something say refuse, actively refuse something like that. So last time I just start the machine.
Lost connection.
I just know I this morning only I start running. So and then after it go to negative 40 suddenly say actively refuse. So this one I have to start the machine. Last time I tried to run again and again, like doing same.
Means when you run to negative 50 and then you got issue.
No, not just temperature because of temperature. And then I just started then. This one I just started this morning. Suddenly, before this one, no issue, ma. And then suddenly when it go to negative 50 from negative 50 to negative 40 because it starts to debug, save the debug file and all. So we lose connection again. But just now okay when it goes to negative 50 it okay. But I don't know why when it started with the test because you have to set to negative 40 and then suddenly it freeze connection. But
Don't know
it's
why.
the same error like last time I
That means
faced.
don't know what is the issue.
Yeah,
Just
for now it just happens because it's the second time happening.
second
Last time it happened last week only.
Yesterday
Still okay.
issue.
Yesterday okay. But this morning when I came in, I just start running. I noticed this one. I don't know what, but it's only happening the second time. One. Yeah, it just happened randomly. Cannot turn off from here, is it? You have to turn the switch at the back. I don't find any power off button. Hmm? Sorry? In the meeting, can you hear me speaking in? Because, man, because I was calling Kua just now. Um, but did you hear me in the meeting? Oh, it's the studio. The studio just doesn't only picks up your. No, no. Whatever I'm saying, right? You'll probably hear because the streamer, the software for streaming, it picks up the noise. But These guys should not share that. I share it.
You're an influencer.
Huh?
You're an influencer already.
Yeah. Yeah, in the middle of nowhere. From negative, because initially it goes to negative 50, it's okay, I mean the connection was there. Right? Just during negative 40, suddenly it's not.
Either one is we did not set any format or try to communicate to this new one for a long time. But I think always ask the
But maybe because just now, when I open, I saw it pop up. Because I just was scrolling around, and then after negative 50, it goes to negative 40. It shows the error, like the debug file is still open. So then I close the debug file, I just continue because it's not an error, it's just the file is open. So I just close and continue. And then when I continue, then only the error came. The oven is refusing the connection. Or maybe it's because some delay, like the oven was like, we are not communicating in oven. There was and then when you continue, it's like not responding. Error.
and communicate with the device. Sometimes like the IP address and everything.
Well, for this one,
The IP layer and then link this address to another
oh,
one and then communicate through the IP address.
because every time it says refuse connection, I try to ping no response. So I don't know why.
Because when you rerun again, it
Yeah, yeah.
connect right.
Just tell to power on and off. Just now I power on and off.
That means you are on the
Yeah, yeah. But even then, the IP should still be the same. So it's just reset.
so now the DT one still now you are running.
Just now the file was open lah, so wow. I see got lots of things. Cannot put bots. Amiran plays got so many. Should be okay, I think. I restart down.
Okay, guys, so please welcome back. Hopefully you had enough time to work on exercise number 22 on Matplotlib. So could we have a show of hands that you're back on your seats and you get started? Okay, so I can see that Leroy is back. Thank you, Leroy. I see Chen is back. Thank you, Chen. So is Dina. So is Ken. And so is Oyong. Yeah, and perfect, guys. So is Mohammed. Thank you, guys. Perfect. And so is Edwin. Okay, I think I've got most of you back. Great. Okay, so this was an exercise which I think was quite straightforward because this is the same ideas we were discussing in the presentations. So let me take you to the code we have on file. This is the code. This is the exercise 1. Is the code which is using subplots. And these subplots, this is the one that you get with different line widths, and so on and so forth. So this is you basically have a line function, 0 to 2 pi. Let's see if I can zoom in more. Okay. And then we create the subplot 2 to 1, 2 to 2, 2 to 3, and so on and so forth with X, Y labels. And I think it's relatively straightforward. And you see the Y labels, the X and Y labels. It's sin X 4X. This is the label right here. Okay, so this is a straightforward thing, and this is the second one, which uses which basically uses a mesh grid. So the mesh grid is able to create the 2D axis in the bottom, and then you have a 3D projection when you use z is equal to the negative x squared negative y squared. So when you run this, you get something of an inverted dome, which you see in the graph. So again, this is just the tip of the iceberg, guys. If you really want to use, you use this as a starting point, and you use the website, which has hundreds and thousands of code examples to help you create your own plots. Okay. Any questions on this exercise or this topic before we move on to the last topic of the course, which is pandas? Okay, I see everybody has no questions. Let's move on to the last topic of the course, which is pandas. Okay, so basically, pandas is so again, before we start, let me show you. Pandas also is a very well documented, very popular third-party package. And if you see, Pandas has its own website, just like other tools we looked at. So let me bring up and share with you the website Pandas. So, and you see there are many books in this, okay? And there is this book itself right here. There are so many books, and there are, if you go on the internet, there are hundreds of books on pandas. And this book itself, let us say the first book that we see here is, I'm not trying to sell the book, but this book, if you look at it, it has, let me see, it has 579 pages, close to 600 pages. Okay, so that means that this particular package, Pandas, has a lot of depth. It has lots of stuff that can be learned. And as you would expect, it's not possible to learn all of it in one module, but this is a Pandas library. There is a getting started guide. There is a Pandas cheat sheet, which shows you the commonly used Pandas commands. Okay, so this is the Pandas cheat sheet. So I did not do this is the stuff. How do you create a data frame? How do you do method chaining? Okay, how do you group data? How do you summarize data, and so on and so forth? So how do you plot? This is a good cheat sheet to have. There is a map method, which is very similar to the map built-in function. You apply, and you see that there are string operations. It can read in pandas can read in from a variety of sources, CSV files, Excel files, is something we'll see in our discussion. And you can do this, you can combine tables, you can use a merge and so on and so forth. This is a good cheat sheet to have. Let me do a quick survey of your group. How many of you use do data analysis as part of your work? Does anybody do you pandas or spreadsheet? How many of you use spreadsheets in your work? Let me ask that question, such as Excel or any other spreadsheet. So basically Ken does. So Ken, you're the only person who does, or are there more people? So Ken is the one who uses spreadsheet, and so does Dina. So we have Dina and Ken are the two people who use spreadsheets. Very nice. Okay. So basically pandas, in a nutshell, is to automate spreadsheets. So you use the Python scripting language to automate analysis of spreadsheets. And spreadsheets are nothing but tables. You know, you have rows and columns. So it's a 2D array, okay? And pandas also, it is using NumPy under the hood. So all its computation is carried out by NumPy under the hood, okay? So this is a good spreadsheet. This is a good cheat sheet which I have shown you. We'll try to look at many things, but again, this is a huge library. As you see here, it also supports regular expressions. It also supports some logic and so on and so forth. So this is a good one to end the course because many ideas we have been talking about, and they all basically get together in this one package. Okay? It's a good package for working with spreadsheets. Okay, with that introduction and with that kind of a foundational information for you guys, let's get started. Okay, so if you see a pandas, we will discuss the main features of pandas. We will talk about what is the difference between series and data frame. Talk about selection, slicing and querying, importing and exporting data frames, basic statistics and plotting, SQL-like operations, and hierarchical indexing. So we will see how much, to what depth we can go to, but we'll just give you a flavor of pandas. So pandas basically is used for data manipulation and data analysis, very similar to you use a spreadsheet. You can import many types of files into pandas, such as comma-separated values, Excel, SQL, HDF5. You can use pandas for data alignment, time series. You can use it for handling missing data. You can also use it for basic statistics and plotting. And it gives you the ability to do spreadsheet SQL-like data manipulation, such as selecting, slicing, reshaping tables, SQL-like merging, joining, grouping, and you can use indexing, which uses the hierarchy approach. So let me ask you again, guys. How many of you use SQL kind of thing in your work? Do you use SQL commands to extract information from databases?
I think that's more for databases such as enterprise business planning or any other like a larger RDBMS, relational database management system. So not for me at least, in my SB line.
Okay. Thank you for that. Leroy. Yeah, so it basically supports these ideas of merging tables, joining tables, grouping tables, like you would do it in a SQL instructions. Okay, so it tries to mimic it. So it tries, just like we saw in Matplotlib, it tries to mimic the functionality of MATLAB in Matplotlib. Similarly, in this, it's trying to mimic the functionality of working with like SQL, like commands that could be used to merge, join, or group tables. Okay, that is what we are saying. Okay, very good. Let's move forward then. Let's define what is a series. So basically, a series has only one feature. This is a feature. Okay, this is the feature, and then there you have an index. So this is index, and you have a single feature that is like a series. Now, if you have multiple features, which are also called as columns, so if you have more than one feature, it becomes a data frame. This is the data frame. So for both series and data frame, there is you have to have some kind of an index. Okay, this is the distinction between series and data frames. Okay. Now, how do you create a pandas series? So you would say import pandas as PD. So PD is the convention for pandas. You can do anything you want, but it's best to stick with the convention because like everybody in the world also uses the same convention. So you can say pandas series, and then you can populate a pandas series 1, 2, 3. And when you print it out, this gives you the index. Index starts from 0, and then you get the values of the pandas series. Okay. Now, if you don't like, so this is an index which is created on your behalf, which is done for you. But if you wanted to create your own index, you can supply your own index. Like in this case, we are supplying it and saying its index is A, B, and C. So now index becomes A, B, and C, and these are the values of your series 1, 2, and 3. And just like NumPy, they have to be homogeneous. So you cannot mix and match. So if you make it integer, all of them have to be integers. If you make them float, like in this second example, it's float. Again, it's all so float and integer, they are both stored as 64-bit values. Okay, so what you could do is you can combine two series and make it into a data frame. And this is what we're doing here. So PD dot in data frame, and we are seeing this as a dictionary. So this is the first series. So like, okay, this is where we are creating two features. So the first feature is called 1. And we have the corresponding values for the feature, or the first column is called 1, the second column is called 2, and then we have the corresponding values. And as we said earlier, it basically provides you an inbuilt index. Okay. Now, again, if you did not like the default index of 0, 1, 2, you could supply your own index, ABC, and you get this data frame. This is what is called as data frame. Okay, so like a data frame has more than one feature, that's the data frame. Okay. Okay, let me check. Are you guys hearing any background noise, or am I being heard clearly?
No any
Yeah,
noise.
fine.
Loud and clear. No noise at all.
No noise at all. Very good. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, today is a warm day in the Bay Area, and the swimming pool, there are small children who are enjoying themselves and squealing and howling. I thought maybe you guys can catch that, but it's good that you're able to catch it. Okay, very good. Okay, this is the place where you have 4 series. You have series S1, series S2, series S3, series S4. And we create this index as a list. So what we are doing in this example is we are basically, assimilating all the series together. Okay, so we are saying for this data frame, so the symbol or the object. So this is data frame is an object. In Python, everything is an object. So df is an object, and then we say the column 1 is series S1, column 2 is series S2, column 3 is series S3, and in this case, inside the series itself, we have defined the index is IDX. So all of them are having a common index in this example. So we have created a data frame by combining more than one series, and you can print out this in a data frame, and this is what it looks like. So this data frame object, this object which you have created, df, this data frame object has many attributes. So one of the attributes is index. So you can have it print out the index of this data frame. It prints out as ABC. You can have it print out the columns, and it prints out 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the columns of the features. It prints it out. Okay. Now, how do you do basic indexing of a series? Let us say this is our series which has A, B, C, D index, and the contents are 1, 2, 3, 4. If I were to index this, just like with the way we were indexing strings, we were indexing lists, how do you index through a series? So you can just go by and give it the value of the index and say B. So S1 and B. So when you do S1B, you get the value of 2 because at index B, the corresponding value is 2. So you get the value 2. You can also slice it. You can say A colon C. So in this case, C is inclusive. Okay. So you say A, B, and C, you get 1, 2, 3. Or you could say, you can give it as a list, A, comma, D. So this is A through C. This is A and D. And you get 1 and 4. This is how you would index through a series. Okay. And anytime you guys find something interesting, let me know. And I would encourage you, if you find something interesting, you can try it out on your own and see if it works. Okay, how do you index a data frame? Okay, this was indexing series. How do you index a data frame? This is the same data frame that we did earlier using 4 different series. Now, if I say data frame 2, so what I get is I get the contents of column 2. So I can index by the name of a column or the name of a feature. Okay, or I can be more specific. I can give the column and the value of the index. I'll get a single value. This is where I say this is the column and this index B. So where it intersects is the value 5. And that is what I get here as 5. Okay, so you could basically index like this. You can zoom in. There's something called as, you can use the name of the feature or you can use the index of the feature. So both would work. So you can say you want to locate a row by label. So you can say B. So B would be, you want to say for index B, what is the contents? So it says for column 1, it is 2, column 2 is 5, and so on and so forth. You can say item by label. So label is, you're basically locating using a label. And these are the labels, A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3, 4 are called as labels. So you could say B and 3. So this is B and 3. You get 8. Okay. So if you work with a data set very frequently, you would have memorized the index and the names of the columns. But sometimes you really don't care the names of the columns or the name of the index. So then you can use the index by number. So here you can say you are basically indexing by a number or by an integer. So that I would stand for an integer. You say I and 1. So the 1 would give you, this would be row 0, 1, and 2. And this gives you these values. Also, you could say the same idea, 1 and 2. So it's basically row and column. So you can use the row column format. You don't care what it is. So you start with basically everything starts with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3. And then you can use that row and column approach where you don't have to give the name of the exact index or the name of the column. You can work with these numbers directly. Okay. So if you wanted to do slicing and dicing, let us say, you say this is the first one is using the labels. So you say up to index 2 and 3 and columns 3, 2 to 3. So the equivalent of this in terms of indexing using numbers or using integers would be colon 2, 1, colon 3. So they are the same thing. They would give you the same output is what you see at the bottom. Okay, so you can use either one, whichever suits you best. You can use either of the two approaches. Okay, you can also use 1, 4. You can say this 1 and 4 are the two. It's a form of a list. So you get these two columns, 1 and 4, and this is what you get. You can also copy and concatenate. Let's take a case. Let us say this is our data frame to begin with, DF. And you create a copy. Okay, so you just get a copy. This is a shallow copy. Okay, but there's no nesting here, so I think it's the same. And then you say, so this is DF. And you don't want to disturb DF. You don't want to change DF. You want the original to be secure and safe. And you create a second data frame and call it DF2. And you can say the DF2 is a copy of DF. And then you say DF2 is 1 minus DF2. So you're basically doing an element-like or element-wise operation like you would do using NumPy. Okay. And also you could use this concatenate function or method. You say concatenate DF and DF2. So then it basically takes DF here. This is the first one is
rest,
DF.
and they all know
the
that.
second
So example,
one
with
is
design team comes,
DF2.
all design team comes on the same
And
day.
what is
Okay.
interesting,
So
what
this
is not very
this point.
intuitive,
So another one
is
is
this
that the
aspect,
priority. Again,
that
I'll emphasize
index
again.
values
This is
need
again
not
and
be
again the
unique.
same message I'm going to drive to
Because you
everyone
see
that
we are,
on-site
the
is a
first
priority.
index is
3 days
ABC.
on-site, 2 days
Again,
remote work.
we get ABC.
Now, remote
So
work is not valid
our data frame
for the
need
week.
not have unique index.
Which
That's what it
means,
says when you are, and
sorry,
this is
for
the
the
way
whole
you
week,
would
there's a typo there.
concatenate.
Okay, because you need to respect that it's only 2 days remote work per week.
Basically, you're
So there is no
concatenating two data frames.
it's only valid for that week.
Okay,
Sorry,
but I
there's a
don't
typo
think
there. So there is no such thing as carry
data
forward remote
frame
work or carry
may
backward
be
remote work. That means this week I didn't utilize 2 days remote work. I will carry forward to next week. There's no such thing. Okay.
.concat. So
And
this
also
is
another
PD
point is that PTO usage, there has
I'll have
been
to check. Maybe one of you can check it for me.
issues
Let's
whereby
see
there is report that
let me
PTO has
check
been
this from the
severely abused in
website
PDC for the
very
past 2
quickly.
years. That means there is high usage of PTO.
PD.concat.
So we need to clamp down on this before HR start it to step in and regulate us. So the key word is that we must practice self-regulation. Okay. So therefore, we need to strongly enforce PTO usage. And PTO is a responsibility of both the person who applied and the approver. Okay, there's no one-sided responsibility. Everyone is responsible for it. If HR steps in to regulate us, then it's on everyone. Everyone will get it. All right.
And in the
So,
concat
Again,
feature,
PTO should only be used as replacements for
it
weekend work
concatenates
or
it
under
along an
exceptional
axis. Okay, very good. So this
circumstances.
is
So we do have clear guidelines on
DF1,
compensation
DF2,
for
they're all
weekend
data
works
frames.
as well as
And
weekday
then we say
off-hour work.
result is equal
So
to
for this, you just can refer
PD
to me, or for the
concat
layout, they refer to
frames.
their functional
Okay.
managers for the guidelines
This
of
is
this
what
policy.
it looks like.
Okay. Okay, this blank, I'm supposed to put something. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. So the FlexNest
This is more example. I'm just trying to show you if there is
August
ever a
onwards,
need.
okay, we will still maintain the control chaos as per phase 1. Okay. So we need to ensure that the office is fully utilized Monday to Friday.
This is a place you would
Okay.
go to
The
find
reason
more
why we go into
information.
FlexDesk is because the reason is that
Okay,
it's insufficient
so this
desk.
is
However, if the office
let's
can be
take an
empty for
example.
2 days per
How
week,
do you
means
query
there
a
is no
data
such
frame?
thing as space
Let us
issue
say,
because we can all
let us
disappear for 2
populate
days.
like a
in a
data
week,
frame, just like
which what we
we had
see
list
right now is happening.
comprehension,
And it's
or
a
we
common
had
issue
dictionary
for all
comprehension,
departments. It's not just
that we
PDC.
could populate a
Okay.
dictionary, or we
Now,
could
other
populate a
MNC
list.
has already
We could
processed in
populate
place
our
where they
data
ensure
frame.
that there
We
is
can
full
populate a
utilization of the office
spreadsheet.
space
And
from
how do
Monday
you
to Friday.
populate
And how they
a
do
data
it, they
frame?
do it by on-site
If you do it the
enforcement,
way you
which we will
populate a
also
dictionary.
go into
Okay.
practice.
So if you see
Okay.
here, we
Now,
say
the table
n is equal to
below
50,
shows the core days.
and we
That means the
come
days
at the
that we need to
bottom
be
and
on
we
site.
say
Now, for
create
design,
this
right,
data frame
we fall under
where
MSI.
n
Okay.
is the key
So,
value. So n
Arif
is in the range
and
50. Okay, so n is
Afiq,
range
as
50.
well as CKD
And
will fall
R,
under RPG,
which is a feature
which you will follow layout, which is
axis,
3 days. So you're
is a
not
random number between 0 and 1.
how to say obliged to follow us
Okay.
to go on 4 days.
So now we have created this
The
data
MSI
frame
team needs to go on
where
4
we
days
have n
because
as n
from
can
September
stay,
onwards,
can become
we
the
will
index,
have our manager
and R
coming
is
here on STA, short-term assignment.
is a
So
random
he
number between
requests
0
that
and 1.
we come
This
to
would
office 4 days a week.
basically create a
So
data frame.
there's hence the
Let's take a
reason
look
why
at this.
the design team is
Okay,
special in
let's
the sense
take
that
here.
we need to come to office
Let me
4
show.
days per week.
And
Okay.
I don't know how
Now,
much you guys
this is how
enjoy
it
me
looks like.
doing
From
this, but
August
this
to
is, I
mid-October,
personally find it
we will
useful
come
because
Monday
it's a
to
good idea
Thursday.
to cross-check
Okay, and Friday we work
the
from
things
home.
you do. So this
From
is one,
mid-October
and
to
this is,
December,
let's say,
we will
print
switch. We will come to
the
office
data frame which
Tuesday
is created. This is the
to
one which
Friday.
is
Okay,
print.
which means we
DF.
work from home on
Okay, this
Monday.
is the quote from the
So
slide.
this way,
So when I run this,
we fulfill in such that we make
you
sure
will
that
see
we
that.
come to office
Let me start the
every
project.
day from Monday to Friday. It's just the
And,
sequence will be different. The same with the layout. So ARI, they will come
Okay,
in
so it
Friday
should be coming
to
on
Tuesday
anytime now.
to office.
Okay, this is
Wednesday to
one.
Friday, they work from home. This is from August to
So it should populate a
mid-October.
data frame.
Now, mid-October to
And
December,
we should see the data frame as it comes up, hopefully soon.
which one? So ARI will come to office Monday to Wednesday.
So
Okay.
you see that I
So
did not
then
import
APT
pandas. So
will
import
be
pandas
Thursday to Monday
as
in office. So in that way, they also cover making sure that they
let's
cover
go ahead
Monday
and
to
do it
Friday.
again.
APT also make sure that
You
they
see
cover
this
Monday to
is
Friday. So
created.
in a sense,
So
this
even
is
though we
fair.
wanted
Everyone
n to
needs
be
to
an
come
index,
into office
but
Monday
it
to
also
Friday at
creates
one
its
point
own
in time.
index. And
Okay.
there is a corresponding
This is the
value
message
of
that
R,
I'm going to tell
which
during
is
the all hands.
which is a random number
message
between
for
0
us
and
in
1
MSI
created by
is
this
that in
NumPy
August,
random method.
Mark
You
is
see
not
there are
here
50
yet.
rows, there are
So
49
actually,
rows, okay?
We can practice
Because we have n is
3
equal
days
set to 50. There are
in
49
office. Okay.
rows, or basically
But my
50
first
rows starting
message
from
to
0.
the
And they
whole
all have a
general is that
corresponding
we will be
random number between
in office
0
4
and 1.
days. But for us, August, we
So
can
now what we do on the
come
slide
to
here
office
is
3
this.
days
Now that
only.
you understand
Okay,
what we are
example,
doing,
Monday
we
to
can say this.
Wednesday, Thursday and Friday.
Now we have this data frame available.
we can
How
work from
do
home.
I,
Okay.
interrupt
Why I don't want to
it?
stay this
How
out
do I get
in
the
the all
information
hands
I
is
want?
because it's going to be
Okay,
very
how do I
messy.
get
Because then I'm going to
the
mention to them in August, we
content
will
of my
follow you
interest?
3 days. Then from September
So I
onwards,
say this data
we will
frame,
not follow you 3 days. So
and I say, give me
it's,
the
might be a bit messy. So we
values where
settle
R
this
is
among
greater than
ourselves.
0.9.
So
Give me
to
the
the rest of the
rows
world, we
in this data
will start
frame
4 days in August.
where
but in
R
actual
is
fact, we
greater
only
than
start in
0.9
September.
because numbers are
Any
between
question at this
0
point?
and 1. So it
Or
gives
anything
me
you
3
feel that
numbers or
It's
3
not
index
correct, then I
values
do it this way.
where R is greater than 0.9 and it gives me the value of n, or where this is occurring.
Okay.
This is how you can access
Now,
information. Now I can make it more
okay.
complex. I can say, okay,
So,
tell me
yeah,
where
so
n
this
is greater
is
than 30
This.
and
Okay.
R is greater
Now
than
the
0.8.
on-site enforcement.
So I can
this
use
is how it's going
a
to work.
more
Here is
specific
examples that I
criteria
put in.
to access data.
This is
And
normal.
this is where it
Example
comes
week
back
1.
and
This
says,
is
well,
how it looks
for
like.
these values
You
of
come
n,
on site
n is
Monday,
greater
Tuesday,
than 30,
Wednesday,
and R is greater
Thursday,
than
Friday, you work
20.
from home.
So it gives you
Okay.
a
Here's a second
kind of
example.
response to this.
Assume that you want to take holiday on
So
Friday.
you can also add columns to data frame. Let us say
Which means
you have data frame
no, sorry.
DF,
Assume that Friday is a
and
holiday.
you can say
which
DF1.
means for that week,
This is a
your
simple
working
data
day is only
frame with a
Monday to
simple index
Thursday.
ABC.
Now in the past,
You add column 1,
all of us
add
will
column
just say
2.
that, okay, Wednesday,
You can add a
I
column
will remote
sum,
work.
which is
Thursday, I
the
will
sum
remote
of
work.
1 and
So
2.
I only come to office
And then you can add
2
a column
days.
flag.
Under
Now,
this
flag
phase,
column
we will not
is
practice this
using a
anymore. We
conditional
will
operation
enforce
greater than 6.
the core days,
And as we
which
have
is 3
seen
days in office.
in all
Again, I
programming
state
languages,
remote
whenever you
work
have a
is
conditional
not
operation,
an entitlement.
the output is
Okay?
always a
It
Boolean.
is not
So the flag
it is not a
is a
privilege.
Boolean,
You are not
and it
privileged
would
to
tell
have
you
it.
when the
It
sum
is,
is greater than 5.
how to
So
say,
if
a
the sum
benefit given
is
to the
not greater than
company,
5
which can
here,
be
so it's
revoked
false.
at any
It's greater
time,
than 5
depending on business
for
need.
the last two
So based
rows,
on
so it's
that,
true.
we are enforcing
So this way
on-site,
you
which
can
is
add
3 days.
columns to data
Which
frame,
means for this week,
and
if
you can
Friday is
use
a
it.
holiday,
You can add
then
columns
you come
using
on site
existing
3
columns,
days. That means
and
you
you can
sacrifice your
also
remote work because
have
that
a
is the second
condition.
priority.
The
On
third
site will be
column
the
or the
main
sum
priority.
column is a flag.
Okay,
And then
example.
it prints out this
Let's
way.
say another week, you want to take
Okay, any
leave on
questions or
Monday and
comments,
Tuesday.
guys?
In the past, what we will do is
Okay.
that we will
Let's say, how do you
use
reset
our
index,
remote work,
set index,
say
and
on Wednesday and
re-index?
Thursday. So
So this is
you
your
only come to office
data frame.
1 day per week.
Let's say
Alright.
point to some flag.
Now we are
And
enforcing 3 days,
in this
which
case,
means
you can
if
reset
you take leave
the
on the
index.
2 days,
So right now, as you see, the
you are
index
still
says
required to be on
ABC.
site 3
And as
days.
soon as you say
You will
set
forfeit your
reset
remote
index,
work.
it basically
Okay.
goes to the defaulting indexing
And this is an
mechanism
example for
and
week
sets
4.
it 0, 1,
Example,
and 2.
if Thursday and Friday is
Also,
holiday,
you could say that you want to
you can
set
take
the index.
Wednesday as a holiday,
Okay.
but Monday, Tuesday, you need
You
to
want
be
to
on site.
set
So on site takes
the
priority compared
index
to remote work.
1.
And week 5,
So
exactly
you
the same
basically
thing.
call the index
So
column
also week 6
as 1.
is the same example.
Okay.
All right. This may sound true, but if you were to go around
then you
asking
can also
other companies,
re-index.
the big giants like
You can
Intel,
say
Altera,
in terms
this
of
is being
re-indexing, you
enforced.
can move the
So we are
columns.
not doing anything
You can shift,
different. We are not
positions of
trying
the
to make
columns
life
and the
difficult
features.
for people. We
So
are
now I
trying to
can say,
enforce that on-site
re-index
is a
in this
must
manner
for face-to-face interaction.
that
Okay,
the flag
let's say
and the flag, they become the
you
first
are
two
supposed
columns.
to come to office
The one,
3 days
this column,
and 2 days
it
you work
comes
from
here.
home. Let's say this is your schedule.
Okay.
Okay,
And
so
then
happens
the
that
2 and the
another
sum
group,
are at this point.
let's say they come to office
Okay, so this is how you
Tuesday
could
to Thursday.
all
right, and Monday
with it.
and Friday
Okay.
they work from home.
And you could
But so
change
happened that time holiday is on
you
Monday and
can
Friday.
move the columns around in this manner.
So when that happened is that we cannot
And
have
as we
everyone
said
comes
that
to office on
Pandas
Tuesday
allows
to
you to
Thursday
work with
because there's not
existing
enough seat.
data. So this
for
is the
everyone.
way you would
So if
copy
you
or
so
you would read
happen
in a
that,
CSV file into a data frame, or you could
your
output
on-site
a
day
CSV
is a
file, or
holiday,
you could
then
output a
it
data
is to
frame
your
to a
benefit
CSV file.
that
So
you
it
don't
is
have to
full
replace
duplex. It can go both ways. You can get in a CSV file to a data frame, or you
understood?
can copy a data frame to a CSV file. The same for
Can I have some
HDF
feedback?
file or
I mean, I'm
Excel.
practicing
So
with
you
you guys.
can
So
move
if
information
you feel that
back
some of
and
the
forth
statements is
Excel
wrong,
or
at least let me
CSV
know, then
or
I can correct my
HDF
statement
files.
before the all hands.
Yes.
Okay.
Frank, maybe you want to share
Okay,
the
let's move on. In this case,
the
we
week that you
have,
share to us
we
on
can even have
that one.
dates. We can have a
Uh,
date range as a
The
way
example.
to create.
No.
So we can
The-
have
you
a,
show
just
us.
like we had series in data
This one.
frame,
No,
you can also
the
have
week
a
on
date
the
range.
early September one.
And the way that works
So maybe
is
people they
that
can imagine
you
that.
can basically specify a date.
That
That one
And
is
if,
not here,
as
right?
I
I'm not sure.
said,
yeah, that one.
what would you, what do
Maybe
I,
that one they easy to
recommend?
understand.
So
okay,
as you
okay.
see that we are using
Yeah.
some
All right. Okay. Then
we
I'll
are
show that
using,
example. Then at least
how do
they
you
can
use the date
see
range
what
method?
happens.
Okay. But
So
this
there
is
is
not
no need to
the
replace.
full picture. The
Basically,
full picture
there
would
is no
be
need to replace
that
on
you
site.
go
It so
to
happened
the
that the
documentation
holidays
and
fall
say,
on that day lah. Okay.
date
All right.
range.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll take your point.
To
I'll share
understand
that.
how the date
Anything
range
else?
works. So if you see, this is
Is
the
it
full
understandable
date range.
or
I have one question.
Can you see that there is a start,
For
end,
example, is
periods,
there any exception
frequency,
for the emergency alert? For
normalized,
example,
name,
for the build 2
inclusive,
on the
unit,
row 2,
and
for
keyword
example, 3
arguments.
days, Monday is
So you can go and
is
understand
RW,
what are
and
each of
Tuesday,
these
Wednesday,
parameters
Thursday
are:
is
start,
on site.
end, periods,
Unfortunately,
frequency,
Thursday need to
normalized,
take
name,
EAL.
inclusive. What do
That
they mean?
scenario
Okay.
is okay, right?
And then you have some examples of the date range and
I
how
don't
you can
understand.
use them.
Moving.
Okay, so this is, whenever in
I'm
doubt,
referring to the
and this
W2.
is what I want you guys to
W2.
learn,
Okay.
is
For
go to
example,
the
for the build 2,
documentation to
we
see its
suppose
complete way
3
of
days
all
on
the
site.
different
For example, it's a
arguments
Tuesday,
that
Wednesday,
it
and
takes.
Thursday.
So don't
Tuesday,
be
Wednesday,
happy
and Thursday. Okay.
with what you
The
see
RW
on
is
the
on
screen,
Monday.
because there is something
Okay.
more
So the
which
RW
we are
already
not able
utilized, and
to,
then on
which we are not able to
Thursday,
show you because
we
it
have
is a
a
very,
EAL.
it has a lot of depth. Okay,
Then you
so we
take
can just show
emergency
you the
leave.
surface.
Then it's okay, right?
Okay, so this is a date
And
range.
the last minute take on Thursday we
And
take
then
the
we create
EAL.
these
So
two
it means
series,
this week we
S1 and
only
S2.
2 days on site.
And then we create this data frame.
Yeah,
So
because
S1
your
is
EL
S1,
is like your
2 is
AL.
S2. And
AL maybe is a
you
different.
see
Maybe
the
AL is
index
a
for
plan
this
early one. For
series
example, it's EAL
is the
on
set of
Thursday
dates.
only
So
apply.
these dates, they serve to be the index of this. So the dates
When you're
one
talking about
becomes
our
the
case,
index for series S1,
because you are
and
saying that
dates 2 becomes the index for
W2
series
W2
S2.
Monday is
And then we
on
create a
site.
data
So
I
just
mean,
now you
frame
mentioned
of
it's a
dates
not
with,
necessarily our
as
case.
your,
It can be
as your
any
index,
other
which is good for time
layout. Yeah.
series.
For example,
And then
Monday
you
we
have
already
the
run the
values of
build,
the
and then
columns.
they supposed to come on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
So
Yep.
similarly,
And then
you
on
can
the Thursday,
examine a data frame. You can
emergency
say
alert
n is equal to 100. So we have
So it
100
means that
rows.
we only come on
And
2
again,
days
this
on
is
site. We
where we are trying to
supposedly
populate.
come on
We are
3
trying to
days one.
populate
Okay.
a
Because RW
data
already
frame.
utilized on Monday.
So we are populating these columns A, B, C, D, E with
But this day
all these various
you take leave, right?
emergency
this
annual
is
leave
when
is like
we
annual
once
leave
we
already.
populate the data frame, we can print out the first 5
EAL
rows
You're
using the
taking
head
into your
method.
AL, ma.
So it
Just that
prints out the first
last
5
minute
rows.
apply,
So
ma.
this is column A,
Yes.
column B,
Ah.
C, D, and E. So
It's
you
like
see
AL
some
lah.
of them have date range, some have a timestamp. This is a constant
There
timestamp,
is no your
which is for column
I
C.
think what he means is it okay to
Okay.
on site on 2 days only?
Yeah,
And,
Boon Wing case is referring to week 4 and week 5. If you take
So
AL, then
B is a
your
flip-flop of
on-site is
PQ and PQ
lower.
and so on and so
Ah.
forth. There
Okay,
is
okay.
a method
Yeah, it's
Because
like
you already take
df.tail,
leave
which gives you
to
the last
cover your
5
on-site
rows
already.
Ah.
of
Yeah, that
this
one
data
cannot
frame, because
cannot
this
do
data
anything,
frame
right?
has 100
Yeah.
rows.
Yeah, mean
Last
you that
5
way you
are
only
from
count 2 days.
95 to 99.
Yeah. So you take your AL
This is
or
when you can do some
EAL.
basic statistics. Let us
Anyway,
say we have some
EAL
dates,
and AL is the same thing.
and
It's
if
just that
we have a data
emergency that
frame
you last minute say you want to apply
which is
annual
using
leave
the index as these
then
dates
approve.
that you see from the top.
So
Okay.
then that is considered
And
as
you can
AL.
use a describe method.
In this
Describe
case,
it. It basically gives
Okay.
you a statistical
If
snapshot.
apply the AL early one, then that
So
one cannot,
describe
right?
it, give you the count,
Right?
how many
Huh?
rows are
Ah,
there,
Can
Also
the
same,
mean,
also
standard
same.
deviation,
It's the same thing.
It's the same. It's the
25%,
same.
and
I think
maximum.
Booming,
So this is a
Booming, I
good
think
way
this
to do a quick
W2
analysis.
maybe is
This
because
is a very
Friday is a
popular
is
pandas
a
function
holiday,
called
so we
describe.
cannot do anything. So I think Booming concerns
And
that
again,
if Friday
you
is a
can
working day.
create a data frame. You have 3 columns
Okay, maybe
in this
I take
data
Is
frame.
it
example what
is it
build one.
Uniform,
Maybe easy to build
normal,
one. For
and
example, for
flavor.
the
So
build
you
one,
have
for some group,
for like
RW is on
uniform, you
Monday
have
and
random
Tuesday.
numbers
On site is a
1 to
Wednesday,
7
Thursday,
and
Friday.
100.
And that way I don't
For
plan to
normal,
take
you have
an
normal
AL one.
distribution
But
of
until
100. You have
Friday, I have
flavor.
emergency leave.
You
So I
have
apply the
random
EAL.
numbers.
So it means that we
100
actually
plus
I
1
only on site
times
2
2.
days. That
So
scenario is okay,
now,
right?
what you could do is, you could say, for this column,
I think Booming, yeah, I think it's okay. I think Booming
give me
just
the
concerned
value
that
underscore counts.
because we say on-site
So
mandatory
it tells you
must
that
be
how
3
many
days. So
times
it
you
happened to
had
be
a
because
port. So these are
unplanned
numbers
cannot plan,
between
and
1 and
suddenly
6.
happen I think it's
because
okay
the
because you
range is
already
1
take
to
leave.
7.
Right?
So
It's not
7
that
is
Yeah,
not
yeah,
it's
inclusive.
not that you stay at
So you're
home working.
saying that
You
it
don't want to
got
come,
6
something like that, right?
17 times, it got 1
It's just
Okay.
like taking leave.
17 times,
Yeah.
and you can get
Or
this
holiday
using
that we
value
cannot
props.
do anything already.
Okay, so that gives
Ah.
you,
But I thought
you
even if
can
you're
plot
taking
a
leave, you still need to onset 3
histogram
days.
of
It's
these
like
three
That's right.
that's
I
why
know.
columns, and the
I know,
histogram
but
KL 2
for
days
all of
and
them
Willing,
onset still
but
3
it
days.
happened to be
is being
it happened
presented here.
on the Thursday and
Okay,
Friday. How are you going to do?
you can
Willing,
even
Unless
plot it.
unless
she
yeah,
said
if
yeah,
you
that
take
You
leave
can
on
use the
Thursday and
plots.
Friday,
You
then
could
you
use
cannot
cannot
the
ask
replace
people
on
to
another day.
maybe
you
you
can
come on
plot
the
it
Saturday to
using the
replace.
index,
Cannot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
the index numbers.
Yeah, right.
Okay, you
So
can plot a
how
bar
I
graph.
understand is
These are the bar graphs.
like
You
for
can plot
example,
a horizontal
VV
bar
Cup,
graph.
me,
This is
IVV,
bar H,
or MSI
which
come
is a horizontal
Monday,
bar
Tuesday,
graph,
Wednesday,
and
Thursday.
stack is equal to
Okay,
true. So it
and then
stacks
let's
together.
say
You can plot a
Thursday is
histogram with 20 pins. You can plot a
emergency. I
scatter
want to
plot.
take
So you
leave.
don't have to go to
Okay,
matplotlib.
and then
There are some
Friday
plotting
is other team
abilities
seat
which are
my seat
inside
already, so I
Pandas
cannot come
itself.
4 days. So instead of
Okay.
I cannot come 4 days, is it okay to come just 3 days per week?
This is a slightly longer presentation,
Yeah,
so
no more seat for me.
we'll take a break after this.
Even if I come to fulfill
So
the
this
4
is
days per week.
let's say this is a data
How
frame.
many actually for your
This is your
case you
data
only
frame.
need to come 3
Of
days
which
per week.
some
Not
cells,
per day.
like these
Yeah,
cells
Hanwei
are
is
not
trying to
defined,
explain.
are not,
Actually,
there's not a number.
Hanwei is trying
Your
to
case
explain.
maybe is
So
3
these cells
days
are not defined, which I have
versus 2
highlighted.
days, right? If
So you can use
come
this. So you
for,
can say fill the
let's say
ones
Monday,
which are
Tuesday
not a number,
already
which have
2
not been
days,
defined.
then
Fill them with the
Wednesday
value of
suddenly
0.
you cannot come.
So it goes and fills everything which is not a
Then
number
you should replace it on
with the
Thursday
value
or
of 0.
Friday.
Okay.
Although Thursday or Friday,
Then
let's
you
say,
can say drop the rows
we are not have
where
the seat assigned to us,
any
but
of
there
the
should be
cells are
empty
not
seat where
defined.
you can
So basically
get
it drops
when
all the
you
rows
try to
except
book in the system.
this one.
Because we are not using all seats on every day.
And in this case, it will say
There should
drop
be
where
pocket
all
of seats
or
available
both the
because
columns
we
are not.
haven't reached a
So
stage
it
where
drops only the last row. The rest it's going to
only
all
one
the
group can
rows.
come per day.
Okay.
We have not
Give me a
reached that
moment.
stage.
I see.
Ah.
Okay. I'm under the impression I need to come 4 days per week.
No, yourself and Pat, you will come 3 days. You will follow the 3 days one.
Oh, okay. So if go back to the previous slide, which one I am? Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
guys.
I need
so
to
I think
specify this
just,
out. I need to put PCE here.
So my
3
source,
days.
Yeah,
Try
maybe
and I
the
have
VV
to
you
sip
just
more.
mentioned 3 days instead of 4 days.
Okay, so any questions, guys? No
This
questions
is
so far?
for the flex.
Everything seems crystal clear?
Not for the lab.
Yeah, okay.
So
Then maybe I'll just change
good news.
to 3 days.
Let's move forward.
For
No,
Hanwei
these
and
are
Pat,
some more
if you refer to
examples
this
of how
table,
to
the
deal
green
with
color
cells
one,
which are not defined or not numbered.
actually are for
This is
us,
something
I
called
mean
as
design and
forward
also
fill.
VV. But
Forward
for
fill
VV,
means
because
take the
you don't
last
need to
known
come
value
4 days. So you
and
can
populate
choose
the next cell with
either
the
3
last known
days
value.
out of
This is
these
forward
4
fill. So you
days here.
see that
I
the last
see.
known value for
Okay.
this column is
Any
3,
3
so the
days.
next two are filled with 3.
Okay, understand.
In this case, you can you can give
So for
specific
design,
instructions
same
for
thing
each
also.
column.
For August,
So for the
you guys
first
can come
column
3
1,
days.
you say fill it with basic zeros. And for column 2,
So, but
you fill it with the
during
mean
the
of the values of the existing.
all hands
So
are
this
just
4
going to
and
mention
5
we
are
are coming for 4 days.
are these are the
To simplify things.
values, and the mean of them is 4.5. So you fill the cells which have not been defined with 4.5.
Any?
Okay. You can do data transformations. You could say you can apply a lambda function where you can increment all the values of the cells by 1. Okay, so all the values are incremented by 1. You can do a cumulative sum.
I didn't
of all the
asking anything. I
columns. You
just
can do a
ask.
cumulative
Just
sum
tell
column-wise.
Frank maybe can show the
You could
September,
also
the first
find
one
out,
to
you
people
could
that
apply
those like holiday falling into
reduction
Monday
function
and
to
then
each
Friday,
row,
and
which
then
will
we
give
will
the
be favored
maximum
to something, but
of each row.
we cannot do anything. We have to
So
follow.
the first row is maximum is
I
6,
think
second
that
row is
one,
3,
that
third
one,
row is
the I
6.
think the September.
So again, these are
easier for
ideas,
people
and
to
this is what I
understand.
told you.
Wait, let me cut and paste,
If
and
you
then
don't
I
have to
show it
make
out.
a
I
note
blow it
of
out
this,
again.
and I think should go to the Pandas cheat sheet, which I showed you earlier.
This one.
That itself, this is not able to take me to Pandas. Let me see.
Okay. In the first
Pandas
week of
Nepal, I think
September,
maybe.
right? The holiday
Nope,
falls on
it's not the
Monday
one.
and Friday.
No, it was called.
Okay. So which means Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is a working day. Now, if I'm going to follow this rule on site for 3 days, right? Which means everyone needs to come back Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
But I have sent you the link to the cheat sheet, but the cheat sheet is
Definitely
a good
cannot
example
fit everyone
where you see the frequently
September.
used APIs.
Okay. Because towards
So
August,
all
I'm very
this may
sure
be
that
in the
one of the
that cheat
layout
sheet
group will
which I
have
had
two
shown
people
you
joining.
earlier.
Okay.
There
So
is a
then
SQL like
it won't
merge.
be able to fit
You
everyone.
can
So
suppose you have two
during
data
this week,
frames.
right?
One is
Let's
left,
say
one is
example,
right. You have
this
left
holiday.
key and left
Okay.
value and right key and right value.
If I were to follow the
There is
previous
this
one,
merge function
design is
which
coming
allows
in,
you to do an
let's
inner
say
merge
Monday
and outer
to
merge. So you
Thursday,
can
okay,
see
in
more
September.
about that. I won't
Right.
go into those details.
Okay, so which means
but you
design
can do
only
that,
Monday holiday for design,
SQL
no?
like
Okay, we
merge,
don't need to come into office, but we're
using
already in
two
office
sets of data and two sets
Tuesday,
of
Wednesday,
keys.
and
There
Thursday.
is a
Okay, we are
there
in
is an
office
inner
then.
merge and there is an outer merge.
Then if you look
right?
at
There is a mechanism to group by.
ARI, we
Let's
see
say
theme,
we again
they are
populate
Friday
a
to
data
Tuesday,
frame
where
you have
so which means
feature A is RG, RG, RG.
on
Feature
Monday,
B is XYZ,
they are on holiday.
XYZ. Feature
Tuesday,
C is a random
are
number between
together
1
with
and
us.
6.
Okay.
Okay.
Then
And
if you were to look at
we got 8 of them. And this is okay.
JH
So let's see.
team, right?
So we create this
They will be
data frame.
Wednesday until Friday.
So with this data frame, you can use this command group by.
Okay. So
and the group by
Wednesday
command, you can
and
say
Thursday,
A
we will be
and
in.
some.
JH team will be in. So if let's
So
say
if
I
you group
enforce
by
2 days,
A,
right?
so
BC
A has
team
two values, R and
need to come
G
back
and R.
Wednesday and
these are
Thursday
the two
also.
alternative. And
But
some,
if
so
BC
it
teams
gives
also
you
come back Wednesday
sum
and
of
Thursday,
C associated with
won't be
G
enough seat.
and the sum of
So that's why for
C
this week,
associated with R.
it's
The
more
same way
like
for D.
how to say
You can group B by some,
is
so B is
the luck of
XYZ,
the
XYZ.
it so
It
happen
gets you
your
these
your
values.
your team's luck already lah, because the holiday is such that
You
it
can
falls on this day.
create
So
a
BC's
index
team will see
group
that they
by
only need to
AB.
come into office
These become your index and
Tuesday only, because
aggregate
Monday and Friday is a
max and
holiday for
sum.
them.
Frank, I think it's not. They have to
You
come
could
on
group
Tuesday for
by
sure. The whole team of
rows and
BC
column
has to come
index,
on
so
Tuesday,
you can have
but
a
they
DF2
also
dot
need to
index
come
and
on
DF2 by
either
columns.
Wednesday or Thursday. So they will
You can
split
group by
because we only have
AB
some
dot sum.
seats available
Okay.
on Wednesday
So for
and
each
also
of these, you are
Thursday. So
creating a
let's
new
say
data
10 people
frame,
will come on
and
Wednesday,
these data
another
frames
10 will come
are an
on
outcome
But
of
Thursday.
whatever
William, this
So
one
that
will
will
be very
complete
complicated
it.
already.
So data
No, that
frame
is only
before
for
is
that week.
DF3 dot
No,
start,
it will
so it
it will
starts
happen
together.
I think it will happen
You can
in
unstack
future.
them.
Some weeks
Okay.
will happen, something like that.
We already checked
You can
the
create
calendar up to
a
Uh-huh.
December.
kind of a
Only
pivot table
this
that you
week
will do
is a special case
using
where we have
spreadsheets.
2 days of
Okay.
holidays in a week.
And there
So for
are
this
a
case,
multitude of other
BC and
features,
JH
such as
team, they
insert,
only need to
append.
come 2 days
So you can see
per
that
week
it
instead of 3
is
days. While the
it
rest
is
of the week,
quite
everyone should
exhausting.
come 3 days
And
per
based on
week
your needs,
minimum.
now that you know the basics, whenever there is a need for you or you think there is a need right now, you can go and explore.
And follow.
And I recommend that
I
you
think that
start
one
with the
you
cheat sheet
maybe
and
Frank,
then
you guys
explore the documentation so that you know how. So the documentation
discuss
gives you
again.
plenty
Yeah.
of examples to basically.
I thought to be I don't know lah, because you guys decide, but I thought to
So
be more
guys, we have
simplified,
been
just
speaking for
because it only happened 1 week,
quite
so
some time.
just like that, lor. I mean, just by
Let
luck,
us
lor.
take a
I'm circuit. I have to
15-minute
come
break.
3 days. I have
When
to
we come
come
back
3
and we
days,
talk
I mean,
about the exercise.
so that people won't confuse something.
So I'll see you
It's
guys
just
at
my
15
input, yeah,
minutes
feeling.
past the hour.
Yeah,
You
I understand.
can
Yeah,
But
otherwise will be
sometimes
very.
take water, take a walk, whatever it is.
there is
And
some
the next,
feedback
when we
saying that
come
not
back
bad.
from the
One
break,
team
I
only
think it
come 1
will
week,
be
I know, I
another
our
know.
team come 2
final
days.
Yeah,
session.
So
I know.
at the
Because
end,
we are done with the lectures. I will walk you
both teams
through
need
the
to come 2
exercise
days.
on pandas. We will do a quick question answer
Agree
session
with
if you
you.
have any,
So BC
and then we will
team members.
complete the course. Okay,
Well,
I'll
for
see you
design
guys
team, it's no
at
change. We
15
still
minutes
need to
past.
come
Yeah,
10 days.
yeah. For us, we have to come 3 days. So, but I just feel that maybe this can be. I don't know. Yeah, you guys maybe discuss for our design. We have no impact. Yeah.
Okay, it's true. Okay, that's a good point there. I mean, by split, okay, her team will have to split lah, so that they can come Wednesday and Thursday. Okay, all right. Okay, then so this is basically how the group in a way will in terms of area. Okay, so this is just a guideline. Okay, which means that this is an area that is reserved for MSI. Okay, then this is the area for APT, and this is the area for ARI. Okay, so technically this area, that means you can sit anywhere you want lah, in theory lah, but I'm sure everyone will follow to their, how to say, place where they are comfortable with. Okay, so on the system, when you book, you try to book according to your area. All right, so this is as per August. But if let's say from August 1st onwards, if there are new people joining, right, which means example, if there are new people joining, example like APT, or let's say our site joining, new people joining us, that means we have to expand already, which means some of APT's desks will have to be shared with us. Okay, which means that we need to open up tables for sharing. The same case if either APT grow or ARI grow, roles will have to be open for sharing. Clear so far? So which means if let's say APT grow, right, there's a possibility, let's say if they're getting another 6 more people, then on days where we don't come, which is example Friday, APT will occupy this seat and this row. Let's say they have 6 people joining, they will occupy this because APT come in, ARI also come in, so they will definitely need to make use of our desk for that one day. Okay, then the same case will when APT comes together with MSI, if they have 6 people, they will have to eat into ARI. So it's the same case also. If ARI grow, they will have to share with row 7, and potentially when these 2 group come, ARI also will have to share row column 10. Is this clear so far?
No, yes.
Right. Any feedback on this? Okay. Question, I explained like this, is it clear or it's very confusing to people? I noticed that in our department, we do have people which very hard to understand, and I don't know, sometimes I speak, they cannot understand. Is it understandable to people or no?
Maybe let me talk up a bit. So basically for now, when we come back in August, you will be getting back your own seats. Basically, it's a fixed queue for you because you're supposed to come 4 days a week. You only take your seat during Monday or Friday. the rest of the day, actually, the queue is for you. It's kind of fixed seat. You don't need to change. Monday you book this seat, and then Tuesday you book another. So the 4 days you should book the same seat. It's like where you sit now.
Okay. True. Provided you can book on the in the system, you have to make sure that you book it on Monday to Thursday in the system on that seat. Because I cannot ask Ong to disable booking of those seats, because Friday definitely, for now, it's okay. Friday, example, APT or ARI won't eat into us because the number is just nice. But if let's say August, they start to have new people joining, either APT or ARI, right? They will definitely have to use up this column already one. There's no way I can block it off from the system. Get my point? Because Friday, definitely I have to release. So which means you yourself, you go into the system, you have to make sure if you want to sit in your own place, you have to make sure that Monday to Thursday, you have to book back that seat, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The layout team, they are not supposed to book the green area there Monday to Thursday.
Yes, this is what we want to say, but we cannot block off because the problem is Friday. If let's say there are people grow, they will have to eat. Example, or even we grow, suddenly we bring in another 3 more people. We definitely have to eat into APT's place already, or ARI on certain days. So we can only have this map for them, mental map for them. Please book your seat according to your color code.
One question, Frank.
Yeah.
So right now, the phase 2 one, I am sharing one cubicle with one person from layout.
Yep.
I mean row 11. So for August phase 3 onwards, for August 3 onwards, it is not really the fixed person to share the cubicle. It's like are they able to book anywhere?
Okay. From August onwards, right? If let's say their numbers now don't increase, right? They should be enough because we open out here already, there are more seats here already. It should be enough for them. If let's say they have plus 1 more coming in, right? Then one of them will have to share. So when they start sharing, it will be like in phase 2 like that, the manager will have to come and talk to us and let us know that, I have one guy coming in Friday. Let's say I will take out this space. So whoever sit here has to be informed that on Friday, someone will be sitting at your place. So we try to control in such that they only use up, we go column by column. So first we open up 10. Then if they already got 5 people in and they got a 6 person, okay. Let's say they already got 6 person because this one also makan already. Then they additional 7, number 7 come in, then we have start to open up column 11. Then the manager for APT will have to come and talk to me to say that which one they would like their engineers to sit, or it can be free for them as well to occupy.
If we
Okay,
don't talk about
understand.
a future group, basically, you will be getting your previous seat and nobody will share with you until there is new hire coming.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, understand.
Okay. Any questions? This is what I want to share and which I'm working on right now. If any question, any feedback or anything?
Yeah, feedback.
Yeah.
Switch off the power grid at the socket and not making the table surface too greasy.
So this we can inform whether people practice or not is another thing. What I am requesting facility to do is that to have, how to say, the spray sanitizer and the what is that? Just like in the canteen, the paper available, put on pedestrian near where we sit, common area. So every morning it has to become a routine, which VLAN also is doing. Every other company, so everyone who comes early in the morning, they will have to sanitize their own table if they don't mind it to be dirty. For those who are a bit more particular, no choice. You have to take the spray and the paper and then, how to say, clean up your own space. Again, we can mention that please maintain your 5S to ensure that your next occupant who takes it will not be troubled or so. But it is very hard to enforce this. I can tell you right now. We can only remind people. So I would say this out during all hands. Make sure, you know, your switch is you make sure your power is switched off. Table is neat and tidy before you leave for the day. This is the best we can do. And we can, on top of that, we will have the sanitizer and then the paper towels ready, placed in strategic locations so that people can access and use it to clean their desks. So it will become a morning ritual for everyone. Moving on, this will be the new norm that you come in. You will sanitize your table, you get your things ready, and for the day, that's all. So this I will mention in the all hands. Thank you. Any other feedback? Okay. Are you guys understanding, confused, don't know what to do, don't know what to say, too angry, too sad?
Okay, no, my feeling.
Understand.
Thank you. Thank you for your feeling. Anything else or anyone else?
No, not for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Even though, keep silent.
Okay, I don't get you. Even though keep silent means what? You're not happy.
Frank.
Ah.
Actually, I have a question. I don't know. Need time to answer. Back to Boon Wing case. If he's asking for the emergency annual leave, could it be half-day emergency leave available? Means I just need a morning to do my stuff. Then after that, I will back to work. But from the time back to work, it will be PM already. But by right, I should be in the office, but I'm not able to make it to the office. I have to work from home. So how would be these conditions?
Okay, guys. So
I can only
please
say
welcome
that
back
this one we will
last
handle
time.
it case by case. So I cannot go out
And
in the
let's
open
get
to say. So we will handle this case by case.
Okay, so
understand.
just a show of hands that I know that you guys are back. And,
Yeah, just that only.
we get started with the last session of the day. We have Chen is back. Thank you, Chen. So is Mohammed, and so is Dina, and so is Ken.
Have no more questions.
So is
Anyone
Orion.
else?
Okay,
Other
I think most
question?
of you are back, and so is Leroy. Okay, perfect, guys. Thank you very much for that. Okay, let's get started. So
Okay,
what
if
I'm
don't
going to
have,
present to
then
you
I
now
think this
is
is
the
the update I want to
exercise, the
give for
last
this week only.
exercise for
Other
the
than
course,
that, there
which is on the
is
pandas.
currently
This
nothing
is a
much
good
happening.
exercise.
Office
So
is
this
still being
exercise,
renovated, waiting for
I will
furnishing to
walk you
come
through
in.
the exercise
Other
so
than
that
there's nothing else.
I can highlight the
Okay.
main things in the
If not,
exercise.
then let's end for now.
So the first thing
Alright.
that we
Okay.
do in pandas
Thanks. Bye.
is we have to
Thank
get
you.
a data set to work
Thank
with
you.
that we
Thank
can
you. Bye-bye.
analyze and we can. So the data set that we are going to work with is called as the California housing data set. So this is data set that we will learn, that we will upload from scikit-learn.datasets, and we will get that. And then we will convert the data set into a data frame. Okay. So before you can apply pandas methods and pandas functions, you have to convert your data set into a pandas data frame. This is what converts it. So you can say housing.data, which is what you got, and you give the column numbers or the feature names. Okay. So this is the first cell where we obtain the data set from the scikit-learn datasets repository, and we convert it into a data frame. Okay. So this is what it comes here. And then we plot a scatter plot of the X and Y feature columns. So X and Y feature columns represent the latitude and the longitude of that particular row. So if you say run, so if it gives me, and if you see this, you'll see it's a map of California because it is a California housing data set. And you see that where are the majority concentration of population. At the bottom, you see Los Angeles and San Diego. On the top, at this point, you see the Bay Area is right here, San Francisco, and this is the Pacific Coast on this side. And this side is the Sierra Nevada mountain range, and so on and so forth. So this, you just plotted the X and Y features from the data set. Then what we do is we try to corrupt, or we try to mess around with the data set, and we go ahead and we say for rows 1000 to 4000, make the latitude as none. So let us do one thing. Let me at this point add one more cell. Okay, let's say I add one more cell here. Let's see, I say edit, insert a cell below, and let me print out the df.head. So it gives us the first 5 rows of the data set, and you can see the first 5 rows is this. So these are the features. This is the medium income, the house age, the average rooms, average bedrooms, population, average occupancy, latitude and longitude. So what we plotted at the bottom was latitude and longitude columns. These 2 columns is what we plotted. Okay. Now what we are saying that, so these are, let me also do a describe. Let me add one more cell here and get you some information about describe the data set. So below, let's say df.describe. So let me run this. This is the original data set, and you see that this data set has 20,640 rows. So there are 20,640 samples. Okay, and all the samples are there. That means all the samples have been populated. And but now what we will do is just to mess around with it. We will set some samples and set them to be none. Okay, so that they are not available. Okay, and after setting them to be none, we will save the change data frame to an Excel sheet. And this Excel sheet is called as dataset.xls. So if I take you to the Explorer window right now, there is no Excel sheet. But after I run this command, right here, I run both the commands. Sorry, the first one. Okay, starting with Pandas 3.0, except will be keyword only. Okay, so I think that I messed around with it so much. Run this. Okay, and run this. Okay, so this seems to be future warning. Okay, I'm sorry, it's a future warning. Okay, it's not right now, it's future. So if you go to the Explorer, you'll see that this data set was just, Excel was just created less than a minute ago. So it did write it to an Excel sheet. And let me see, I can download this Excel sheet. I can basically select this Excel sheet, and I can download it to my computer workstation. If you see it, basically downloaded it, and I can open it up. And when you open it up, you'll see that if I go to row 4000, so you see that certain columns have been eliminated. You see right here, certain columns or certain of the cells have been taken out because they were set to none. They did exist earlier, but they were taken out. Okay, this is what you see here. Okay. Now, if I go back to our exercise, let's go back there. You'll see that we could read the data sheets. We can read it back to a data frame. So this is what we have created. We can read it back to a data frame, and it is going to read it back. And it has read it back, and after it has been read back, we can see the head info. The info gives you the data types for each column, for each feature. We can run describe. As you see, describe has changed now. What change do you see in describe from the previous describe that we have done? Do you guys see any change? So the thing I see, if you see describe, you see everything else is 20,640. But latitude and longitude numbers are lesser because we have emptied out certain cells using none. So you see these numbers are lesser than in other counts. But if you saw the earlier ones, before we did this operation of trying to sell certain cells to be none, everything was 20,640, even the latitude and the longitude. But because of this change, we set 3,000 cells to be none. So that is why it is happening. Okay. So then we come here and we define and we plot these three columns as a histogram. Okay, so the medium income, the house age, the average bedrooms is plotted as a histogram. Now what we are doing here is, since we have emptied out the latitude and longitude, we are going to fill the empty columns with the mean value, just like as we had discussed in our presentation. You can use the fill, the not a number cells using the mean. So we basically make changes, and once we do that, we can go to info, and you see everything back again is 20,640. And in this case, info was also showing to be lesser numbers. Before we filled it in, it was 3,000 less, but now everything is back to normal because we have filled it in with the median values. Now we would like to add a new column called size. Okay, and the new column size would be such that if the average rooms are less than 5, it's small. If the average rooms are greater than 6, it's large, and everything else is medium. So we create this new column, and now we say run, and we see this new column size being added, which was not there earlier. So we created a new column size, and we said that this is what information we want in the column is to basically classify the house as small, medium, or large. Okay, and then we use the group by method to show the count and mean of the previous. So it says the medium income, the size of what is the large, medium, and small. We want to use, we want to group by size and give the aggregated, the count and mean. So for the medium income, there are these many houses qualify as large. These many houses qualify as medium. These many houses qualify as small. House age, average rooms. Okay. Okay, this one is, so we are trying to give this a code. So the small is 1, medium is 2, and large is 3. So we're trying to give it a code. And so this is when we are trying to give it a label or a code. And then we try to merge cells. Okay, so we're trying to merge the data frame and the size to code, left on size and right on size. Let's see what happens. We merge it. So this is a size. This is a code. Okay. And this is how we have merged the two data frames. Okay. Then we are trying to apply a specific, we're trying to copy the data frame so that we don't mess around. And then we create this lambda function to get a standard deviation. Let's see what happens when we run this. Okay, we say describe again. Okay, so it's done some calculations. Okay, so it has changed the standard deviations because we have changed the population and the average occupancy with this equation. Okay, so we have applied an equation to these cells, and then we plot the histogram after this equation, and you see it looks different. Okay, we have plotted the histogram of the medium income, the average houses, the house age, the average rooms, and so on and so forth. This is just an example of the many methods of pandas that we discussed in our presentation. We are giving you an actual use case. Okay, we are working with a real data set, and we are applying all the ideas that we discussed in our presentation to this, so that those ideas, you can basically combine them together and they will make more sense. Okay. Okay, so this is the last thing, and you guys can, if you want, you could, you have the Git, and I think this will be active till midnight Pacific time tomorrow. This CoCalc. You can still continue to work with CoCalc. The only thing is that it will not be able to access the internet, but you can still work on it. You can still work on the Jupyter Notebook or the shell and so on and so forth. Okay. So that basically brings us to, we have covered all the points, all the topics that we were supposed to cover in this course. And you see that we have covered a great amount of ground. We have talked about simple ideas, very basic ideas, how to find the different methods associated with an object type using DIR. We talked about formatting the F strings. using classes, using inheritance, shallow copy, deep copy, magic methods, or dunders. Iterators, how do you change an object a sequence to an iterator, and back and forth. We talked about decorators, how to import a module, standard library, regular expressions, argument parser. So we did cover a great deal of ground in these 5 days. So I do hope that you did increase your knowledge of Python, and I do hope that your confidence level of working with Python has gone up. And now when you use Python, whatever it is, maybe tomorrow or maybe next week or for your next project, hopefully you will approach it with a lot of confidence and a lot of fun. Okay. So before, let me reach out to each one of you and get your reaction and see if there are any questions that you have in your mind before we formally close the course. Let me start with you. Let's start with Chen. Chen, let's start with you.
Thanks, Rahul. So basically, I learned a lot, at least a full picture of a Python. And basically, I try to read the script from our job. So I try to dip into the script, but actually, I'm junior in this Python, so I still unable to read the full picture of Python. But after this course, I get a lot of element from the Python introduced by you, Rahul. So many sense of this. I don't have a exactly question here, but after this course, I think when I read the Python and script, I can have a more confidence on that. Thanks a lot.
Perfect. Yeah, you are. Yeah, I think yes. Hopefully now you know the constructs. We have discussed so many ideas that if you read somebody else's script, it will make more sense to you. That is a good outcome of this course. Okay, thank you very much, Chen, for that. Let me move on to Oh Yong. He's not well, so you don't have to speak much, Oh Yong.
Yeah, hi Rahul.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hello.
basically I would say it's very fruitful. I mean, for me, the main focus will be on day 1, day 2, and day 3, I would say. And then day 4 and today, I mean, not so relevant to me. I think in my future use, as for now, who knows? Maybe things gonna change later. I have no idea. But yeah, it's basically I have more understanding on the thing that teach in day 1, day 2, and day 3. And yeah, hopefully, yes, I'll be using the Python very shortly.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you for your honest feedback. Yeah, so day 4 is an outlier. Some people may use it immediately, but some people may not be using it for some time. So thank you for that honest feedback. Very good. Let's move on to Dina now. Dina.
Yeah, thanks, Rahul.
Hello. Yes.
I just got exposed to Python, so I never used Python before. Not mostly.
Okay.
So I think that's really good. You have me to be exposed about all the libraries, the modules, so that in case I need to use Python, I know where to go and what to look for.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much for that, Dina. Thank you. We move on to Leroy. If you have any last minute questions would also be fine. We can talk about that. Leroy, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Firstly, thank you, Rahul, for your time and effort on this. And yeah, I think what this course did was what I should say, what you've done was you opened up my perspective on Python. Now, at least now, to see the application, especially the real utility of Python, especially with regards to the matplotlib or the NumPy, the linear algebra. I wasn't aware of so many uses,
Okay.
Right? And of course, the some other other use cases such as yeah, I mean, basically just linear algebra because there are so many shorthands. Previously, we need, because in other projects it's more primitive in the sense that we need to look through a particular array and then assign the values or do the needed computation. But for Python, it's like one statement, one line of code, and you are able to generate so much. So the power is there, the potential is there. So now it's up to me to seek out the application for this. So thank you, Rahul, for your time.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
And another question is, you mentioned that CoCal will be available to what time? To when?
So CoCalc is licensed till tomorrow night Pacific time, but you can continue to use it. It will ask for a license, but it will still work. But the license allows you to get information from the internet. That once the license goes away, you will lose internet access, but all the files on CoCalc will still continue to work and they will still be available.
Oh, okay. Still available, but we can't run it online. Is that what you say?
No, you can execute it, but let me give you an example of what I mean. Suppose that, let us say this, as you see my screen now, let us say that I want to execute this cell right here, the first cell right here. This is the only cell which may require internet access.
Oh,
this cell right here, where I am fetching the California housing data set from an internet repository. So you will have problems with this. Rest everything will work.
I see. So you
which
can
does not
import
require internet connectivity.
Okay.
So everything besides this will basically continue to work.
So it's still fetching from an external data source.
Yes, external. Yes.
But if you have inbuilt packages, then those are fine.
Yes.
Oh,
everything inbuilt is going to continue to work.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, thanks for clarifying, Rahul. But there's nothing else to add. Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, give me a moment. 1 second, guys. Give me a moment. Yes, so thank you, Leroy, for that comprehensive feedback. That is good feedback, and I'm sure everybody else also, I think, benefited from that feedback which you gave. Okay, let me move on to Ken. Ken, you are next on my list. Any reactions or any feedback from you, or any questions from you, Ken? Okay, I'm not sure if Ken can hear me. Hopefully, can everybody else hear me, or is it? Okay, so I think yes. So it seems I'm heard. Maybe Ken is busy. Let me move on to the next person. Let me move on to Mohammed. If you're there, yes, go ahead.
So basically, the training was clear and easy to follow. So basically, we start from basic, and then we dig into more advanced using all this. I think this will be useful later if I want to verify, use verification inside my work. Yeah.
Okay, perfect, Mohammed. Thank you very much. The last person on my list is Faiz. Faiz, if you can unmute yourself and speak. Okay, maybe he's not available. Okay, so let me show you one more thing before I close. Okay, one thing, but before I close, let me thank each and every one of you individually. You guys were great, and time went by very quickly because we were having fun. It seemed as if I was talking to old friends. So thank you for that, giving me that kind of ambience and that kind of comfort zone. So I always felt in a big comfort zone because of your warmth. So basically, thank you for that. Let me demonstrate one more thing, and then we can call it a day and call it a week. Okay. So you may have heard me refer to the idea of AI. So you may have heard me say that generative AI is very good with Python because there is a lot of Python code on the internet. Okay. And the AI models have a lot of Python code to learn from because there is huge amount of code on the internet on Python. So it has all these models. They had a great time working with. So let us say this is from exercise 16. Okay, exercise 16. And let us say I copy this content. I say, let's say this one right here. And I basically copy this content. And I say, well, this is also called as, these days, it's called as vibe coding, but let's not call it vibe coding. Let's just say, I want to create this. Let us say I go into, I say new, and a new, I say, let us say,